So earlier last year, I purchased a 4TB G-Tech drive to store and edit all of my footage. It's actually this one right here. I previously edited on a Western Digital drive that was actually thrown into a dock, but I had no real backup solution, so I purchased this one. Soon after I purchased the G-Tech drive, the dock for the Western Digital drive actually broke, so I still don't have a backup solution, but that's a different story for a different day. Because I used to edit everything on my MacBook Pro, the big selling point on this G-Tech drive was power delivery. Now, I'm not one who typically reads the manual, and that actually ended up coming back to haunt me in this case, but I'll tell you more about that later. But if you're interested in it, it's not the fastest thing around. It's a 5400 RPM drive with transfer speeds up to 195 megabytes per second. It is USB 3.1, but it doesn't take full advantage of that at those speeds, so I actually just use it in a USB 3.0 port on the back of my iMac here. There's only one USB-C port on the back of this thing, so you're not able to daisy chain it like you are on some of the nicer Thunderbolt drives. So regarding about what I said about how not reading the manual actually came back to haunt me. So after editing the color grade video that I put out a few weeks ago, I went ahead and exported the footage. So I exported this thing in 4K like I normally do, and for whatever reason, this thing just kept ejecting itself from my MacBook. Of course, each time I just thought it was a fluke, so I kept unplugging it, plugging it back in, it remounts, and I tried to export again, and midway through the export, it would just eject again. Meanwhile, each and every time this thing ejected, it would actually damage the Final Cut library. Yes, there were backups, but the first time that this happened, it actually ruined a pretty significant edit that I made to the timeline. So I went ahead and I hopped online and did some more research like I probably should have done in the first place, and I found out that this thing only delivers 45 watts of power to the MacBook, and under stressful situations it will actually rely on the MacBook's power. And if you didn't know, the 15-inch MacBook actually uses an 87 watt power adapter. I thought that just meant that it would charge slower, not that it would just eject when things got a little bit tougher. So obviously nothing was wrong with the drive, it was just me being dumb thinking that this thing was going to do something that it wasn't built to do, which could have been costly if Final Cut didn't have those backups available for me. Overall, I do think that this is a decent drive, but if you're editing a lot of 4K footage, I think it's far from a good long-term solution. I'm personally still looking for an option where I can store, edit, backup, and archive all of my footage without taking up like 10 USB ports to accomplish that. But if you're a light editor or just looking for some additional storage for your computer, this could be a solid option for you. So just a side note, I recorded this video in 30p rather than 24p. Let me know if you could tell the difference and let me know which one you like better. Well, that's all I have for you today. Hopefully you found value in this video. If you did, go ahead and leave it a like. If you'd like to see more, go ahead and subscribe. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Later.